Hello, children. How are you all? Welcome you all to class 10th English class. Today, I'll begin with a new lesson that is Supplementary Lesson Karna, written by C. Rajgopal Achari. Open your textbook, children, and open the page note on the author. Chakravarti Rajgopal Achari, who was born in 1878 and died in 1972, was a lawyer, writer, and statesman. He was an accomplished writer who made lasting contributions to Indian English literature. In 1951, he wrote an abridged retelling of the Mahabharata in English, followed by one on the Ramayana in 1957. These stories were originally written in Tamil and were rendered into English mainly by Rajaji himself. To have preserved the beauty and spirit of the great original in refined and simple English is an achievement of the highest order. He was one of the founders of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, an organization dedicated to the promotion of education and culture. The lesson which we are going to read now are extracts from different chapters of his Mahabharata. Now, please open your textbook page number 130, children. This chapter includes various incidents which have taken place in the life of Karna, who is the eldest son of Kunti. First, I'll read the lesson, the incident which tells us about the beginning of friendship between Duryodhana and Karna. Karna by C. Rajgopal Achari. The Pandavas and the Kauravas learned the practice of arms first from Kripacharya and later from Drona. A day was fixed for a test and exhibition of their proficiency in the use of arms in the presence of the royal family, and as the public had also been invited to witness the performance of their beloved princess. There was a huge and enthusiastic crowd. Arjuna displayed superhuman skill with his weapons, and vast assemblage was lost in wonder and admiration. Duryodhana's brow was dark with envy and hate. At the close of the day, there came suddenly from an entrance of the arena a sound loud and compelling like thunder, the sound made by the slapping of mighty arms in the challenge. All eyes turned in that direction. They saw enter through the crowd, which made way in awed silence, a godlike youth from whom light and power seemed to emanate. He looked proudly round him, cast a negligent salute to Drona and Kripa, and strode up to Arjuna. The brothers, all unaware by the bitter irony of fate of their common blood, faced one another, for it was Karna. Karna addressed Arjuna in a voice deep as rumbling thunder. Arjuna, I shall show greater skill than you have displayed. With Drona's leave, Karna, the lover of battle, then and there duplicated all Arjuna's feats with a careless ease. Great was Duryodhana's exultation. He threw his arms round Karna. Welcome, O thou mighty arms, whom good fortune has sent good to us. I and this kingdom of the Kurus are at your command, said Karna. I, Karna, am grateful, O king. Only two things I seek, your love and single combat with Partha. Duryodhana clasped Karna again to his bosom. My prosperity is all thine to enjoy. As love flooded Duryodhana's heart, so did blazing, wrathful Arjuna, who felt affronted and glaring fiercely at Karna, who stood stately as a mountain peak, receiving the greetings of the Kaurava brothers. He said, O Karna, slain by me thou shalt presently go to the hell appointed for those who intrude uninvited and prate unbidden. Karna laughed in scorn. This arena is open to all, O Arjuna, and not to you alone. Might is the sanction of sovereignty, and the law is based on it. But what is the use of mere talk which is the weapon of the weak. Shoot arrows instead of words. Thus challenged Arjuna, with Drona's permission, hastily embraced his brothers and stood ready for the combat, while Karna, taking leave of the Kuru brothers, confronted him weapon in hand. And as though the divine parents of the heroes sought to encourage their offspring and witness this fateful battle, Indra, the lord of thunder clouds and Bhaskara of the infinite rays, simultaneously appeared in the heavens. When she saw Karna, Kunti knew him as a firstborn and fainted away. Vidura instructed the maidservant to attend upon her, and she revived. She stood stupefied and anguished, not knowing what to do. As they were about to join in battle, Kripa, well versed in the rules of single combat, stepped between them and addressed Karna. This prince, who is ready to fight with thee, is the son of Pritha and Pandu, and a scion of Kuru race. Reveal, O mighty armed, thy parentage and the race, rendered illustrious by thy birth. It is only after knowing the lineage that Partha can fight with thee, for high-born princes cannot engage in single combat with the unknown adventurers. When he heard these words, Karna bent down his head like a lotus under the weight of rainwater. Duryodhana stood up and said, if the combat cannot take place merely because Karna is not a prince, why? That is easily remedied. I crowned Karna as the king of Anga. He then obtained the assent of Bhishma and Dhritarashtra, performed all the necessary rites, and invested Karna with the sovereignty of the kingdom of Anga, giving him the crown, jewels, and other royal insignia. At that moment, as the combat between the youthful heroes seemed about to commence, the old charioteer Adhiratha, who was the foster father of Karna, entered the assembly, staff in hand and quaking with fear. No sooner did he see than Karna, the newly crowned king of Anga, bowed his head and did humble obeisance in his filial reverence. The old man called him son, embraced him with tears of love, his head already moistened by the water of the coronation. At this sight, Bhima roared with laughter and said, oh, he is after all only the son of a charioteer. Take up the driving whip then and befit thy parentage. Thou art not worthy of death at the hands of Arjuna, nor should thou reign in Anga as a king. At this outrageous speech, Karna's lips trembled with anguish, and he speechlessly looked up at the setting sun with a deep sigh. But Duryodhana broke in indignantly. It is unworthy of you, O Vrikodara, to speak thus. Valor is the hallmark of Kshatriya, nor is there much sense in tracing greater heroes and mighty rivers to their sources. I could give you hundreds of instances of great men of humble birth, and I know awkward questions might be asked of your own origin. Look at this warrior, his gold like form and bearing, his armor and earrings, and his skill with weapons. Surely there is some mystery about him. For how could a tiger be born of an antelope? Unworthy of being king of Anga, did thou say, I verily hold him worthy to rule the whole world. In generous wrath, Duryodhana took Karna in his chariot and drove away. The sun set. The crowd dispersed in tumult. There were groups loud in talk under the light of the lamps, some glorifying Arjuna, others Karna, and others again Duryodhana according to their predilection. Moving on to the explanation. Guru Drona thought that the time had come to exhibit the talent of his students, and therefore arranged a tournament at Hastinapura. A messenger was sent around the city to announce, listen all, an open tournament is being arranged by Guru Drona at Hastinapura. All great personalities are to participate in it to exhibit their skills. So he went on spreading widely in the city. On the day of the tournament, a huge stadium was put up. Bhishma, Guru Drona, Kripacharya, Vyasa, King Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, and Kunti were present. One among the audience states that Arjuna is a favorite student of Drona. In fact, Drona has arranged this big tournament to make him popular. The one says, "No, that cannot be. There are so many others just as good as Arjuna." This is to let Bhishma know that all the princes are proficient. The princes entered the arena. They were led by Yudhishthira. They performed amazing feats with the bows and arrows, swords, and all the weapons. During the course of the tournament, a conflict between Bhima and Duryodhana arose. Guru says to Ashwatthama, "This conflict is getting worse. This tournament is just a demonstration of their skills. Go and separate the two and bring the duel to a close. Let's not have any unpleasantness on the stage." So enters the arena and asks them to stop the personal enmity here. Arjuna started exhibiting his talent by various astras, and the vast gathering was lost in wonder and admiration. At the close of the day, there came a sound looking and compelling like thunder and asks Arjuna, "You seem to be so conceited with the skill you have displayed. I can do much more. Now I'll show you my skills." And duplicated all Arjuna's feats with a careless ease. Seeing at this wonder, Arjuna felt insulted and asks, "Who are you? How dare you come to this tournament uninvited? This is an open tournament and not a show arranged for exhibiting your skill. It's common to all. I'm challenging you. Accept the challenge or simply admit that I'm better archer." At the same time, Kripacharya comes in. "Let's not go to have any unpleasant thing on the stage. Let's observe the rules. Arjuna is the son of Kunti. He belongs to a noble family of the Kshatriyas. Who are you? Reveal your identity. Our princes will fight only with the people who are equal to them in birth. My glory is short lived. How shall I answer him? Oh, mother, you abandoned me at birth. Who am I?" At the same time, Duryodhana comes to the help of Karna and he says, "I will crown you as a prince of Anga. Arjuna, his status is more than you. Fight with him." Karna, overwhelmed, says, "I don't know how to thank you for this great honor conferred upon me. I don't think I deserve it. How can I show you my gratitude?" Adhiratha, foster father of Karna, entered the arena and started praising him, saying that he was happy for the good fortune that has embraced him. Duryodhana to Karna says, "Whomever you are, for the noble qualities you deserve to rule the world." At that side, Bhima roared with the laughter and says, "Go, Sutaputra, you are not fit to kill by Arjuna. You are not fit to hold your bow into your hand. Go and ride your chariot, which will suit you better." "Bhima, you are a prince. These words you spoke are not to be uttered by a Kshatriya. The world knows that you are the son of your mother and not of your father. I have made that king. I know that he deserves a lot more. From now, he shall live with us," said Duryodhana angrily. The great tournament came to an end with a lot of unpleasantness. Drona and Arjuna were unhappy at the turn of the events. But everybody was amazed with the skills of Karna and the magnanimity of Duryodhana. Assignment of the day. First one, who was the foster father of Karna? Second, Karna was made the ruler of Dash kingdom by Duryodhana. I'll take up the next incident in the next class, children. Until then, thank you.